birds, believing in nothing, abandon their twigs and leave town with first signs of snow.
Oh, love me forever!
Moans the bride. This is agony for her, this sudden second sight, this seeing the forest for the trees, this unquenched fire in her heart.
Oh, love me forever!
Screams the bride. Already she is picturing a dress a tailor with 12 assistants will slave over. Already picturing the tiered cake, the guests milling in petal-strewn aisles. Already she is picturing all this at once, simultaneously, with the ecstasy of fulfillment. Betrayal! 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 Here! At once! With the groom inches from her bare hip, she sees his disappearance, the broken promise, the imaginary foul sheets of the new bride, the other, the chamber they will retire to when she, if not restrained by her sisters and her I told you so parents, would have thrown herself head first down the stone steps leading to the altar.
Is there no sadder story than mine?
Weeps the bride, her voice muffled by her gown, her face buried in veils.
Is there no sadder story than mine? Tell it to me! Tell it to me!
And the groom, in another place, in another city, in another clearing, with a new sack of spurn and another set of flowers to pull out and wind together, the groom grew vivid, larger, not aging, more handsome, but evil, evil, evil! Dear God, in the heaven of heaven above, of your scratch pad of doobies and dunces, of goodies and bad enoughs, put me on the happiness list and relieve me from this feeling of being left over, warmed up by my own hands, searching my own vacancies. Dear God, in the heaven of good ideas, good deeds, and sporadic miracles, do something here now for these embarrassed women. Brides wait for a response. Nothing happens. Pity her and move on, they sing in the town.
Pity her and move on.
What happens when God does not happen? We turn to the devil.
Turn, 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 turn.
Unhappy person to devil. Come in, devil. Unhappy person to devil. Come in, devil. Do you read me? Do you read me? Do you read me? Do you read me?
The devil speaks. Something of a tailor myself. Sewing, knitting. Let me help you take off the pain. May I? Oh, bad luck in love is such a heavy fabric. Don't you think? There! Aren't I helping already? Oh, good girls like you. All you need do is forget. Here, take my shop assistant. He is small and scrawny, but all fine husbands are. Make him your own, my dear. I never had a daughter, but I like to think a pretty lady crying would be. Think of me sometimes. The arrival of the tailor's dummy.
Once upon a time, and because this story needs to be told sideways, as if it weren't happening, as if it were all an excuse to get together and have a good time, once upon a time, there was a tailor's dummy. Oh, a boy! Obsessed with the bride, and although he was spindly, unworldly, and dumb, the bride, already an abstraction herself, took home the dummy and made a home for the two of them, and fall away from Medea, or Clytemnestra, or whoever I'm supposed to be. My white dress striped red with the culprit's blood, my hair frizzled electric with vengeance. What's the aftermath of a great passion? What does the powder room look like with daggers strewn across the pink linoleum? Who carries the heroine in from her aria? What sleeping pill does she take when the deafening applause rings on decades after one sold-out performance? How many brides in the imperial and non-imperial countries are watching television right now, trying to forget everything before learning it? How many brides, or for that matter, grooms, imagine themselves years later going over the mismanagement of their lives, like some kind of store inventory where you realize the employees have been stealing for years?
Once upon a time, there was a tailor's dummy, a boy,
Not much of a date, kind of a lump on a stick.
and the bride, fitting this lump on a stick into her pane, which by now was purple and green, took the dummy as her husband.
Compensation made the bride grow youthful and light-hearted, as she faced the devil, who godfathered her 12 sons, who much later, when they were grown, sewed dresses and waistcoats in the empty mill down near the waterfall.
And because I can't say goodnight when I should say goodnight, I stand here and write a conglomeration of gauze for an imaginary wound inflicted once upon a time, and the same scab picked open perpetually, the same itch, the same irritation, the same cry, the same pus even. And on some imaginary altar, in an already burnt up and pillaged city, I am sacrificing myself, my live heart pumping as if everything could be relieved by just repeating something often enough, by just being persistent, by just saying it out loud, saying it out loud, out loud! This is the part of the story where my unhappinesses are so great I want to die, but I don't want to die, because I want to tell this story again tomorrow, and the day after, and then again in some other city. So at this point of the story, because my legs are exhausted from travel, I wish to cut off my legs, but I don't cut off my legs. Because at the end of the evening, I wish to walk out of here into the street. So what are these lies you keep telling yourself, you say to yourself? And at this point, I become ashamed, because I seem to be talking out of both sides of my face. And to cure everything at this point of the story, I should take my two hands, which I have not cut off, and rip out this red thing in my chest. Rip it out and up! What if I followed my impulses?